Hello and welcome back to the Battle Room. I'm the Battle Room, and today we're going to look at the first ever Regulation I tournament of the regulation. I guess it's the first one. So the Victory Road put on a tournament. I had over like 270 people, so it's a pretty big tournament, and I think we can gain some insight into what this format is going to be like. And I think the very obvious thing here is it is going to be very Shadow Rider dominant. So first things first here, let's check out the usage. So obviously number one is the Shadow Rider here with almost 53% usage in day 2. So the first number obviously is how many people were in day 1, which was 37, which is still quite a bit for a restricted Pokemon. Obviously we're all allowed to use 2 of them, so there has to be a best one. And Shadow Rider clearly looking like the far superior best restricted. Then Miraidon, which I think makes a lot of sense. I think these two synergize with the most restricteds. Like, I seriously think if you look at the first 5, Shadow Rider can be used with all of them, barring Lunala. And then it also could be used, you just can keep going down. It can be used with all of them except for like Calyrex, because it's also named Calyrex. So you can't use 2 CalyreXs. But all these Pokemon look like they just would be good with Shadow Rider. Like Groudon Shadow Rider, I fuck with it. It's probably good. Terrapago Shadow Rider, that shit's probably really broken. We've seen it kind of pick up a little bit. We'll go into that later a little bit. Yeah, I just think it synergizes with all of them. And I think the same thing with Miraidon. I can see it being used with Zam, Lunala, maybe not Koraidon, but maybe you could still make it work. Ice Rider for sure. Zacian, sure, why not? Win the Mirror. Kyogre, sure. Terrapagos, maybe not Terrapagos. Groudon for sure. So I think like it's another one of those Pokemon that really can be used with any of them, and Zam similarly. But then you start to get into some of the more niche ones, like Lunala obviously is going to be contested by Shadow Rider. You're not going to use the same Pokemon. But yeah, I think this is a really good snapshot of what we're going to see. I think these are clearly the best 3 by a long shot. If you didn't check out my tier list video, I talk about them in length there with Alex. And then these are the more niche supporting ones that, like, obviously I think all of them are good, like most of them. I think Lunala is very strong. I think Koraidon's super strong. Ice Rider's still good, let's be real. Zacian's pretty cool in this format, and Kyogre's pretty solid too. And Terrapagos, I think we're going to slowly see start to rise as people realize that it is very broken in a format where it's really easy to force someone to Terra. So I think Groudon is kind of a shitmon. I'll stand on business here. I think Groudon sucks ass. And obviously none of them made day 2. He's one of the only ones in top 10 who didn't make day 2. Groudon misses his moves. I don't know why you guys would use this thing, but that's besides the point. Enough Groudon hate here. But yeah, so basically I think that this is a good snapshot. I think all of them are pretty viable. We have about 9 restricteds that you can move around. And then as it goes for support Pokemon here, we've got ourselves, wow. Oh, Urshifu Rapid Strike, okay. He's chilling. He's at 50% usage. He's still here. He's still kicking. But yeah, Incineroar, climbing to the top. He's obviously a very broken Pokemon. Supports everything pretty well. The first 4 Pokemon, 3 of them fake out, by the way. Like, funnily enough. Urshifu's the only one who doesn't. Makes sense. We see a lot of Follow Me here. All these are support Pokemon, more or less. Like, that's kind of the way the format works. If you've never played Double Restricted, it's all about enabling your support Pokemon. So Incineroar, Rillaboom, Iron Hands are all very good at enabling those big heavy hitters. Same with the Ogrepons. Really surprised to see this guy outshine this guy, because I think this guy's way better. But I think there's a lot of Arubega out there still. I think we're going to see him fall below that guy. Whimsicott is the premier Tailwind setter, but Torn is also here chilling, setting up Tailwind as well. Qianpao is a very strong Pokemon because he enables the other restricteds, the physical restricteds. And then we have stuff like Raging Bolt, Grimmsnarl. Nothing too surprising here. It's basically all supports. Ditto at criminally low usage, let me say. I think Ditto's really good. Pelipper still pretty low. Single Striker Shifu, 2 of them in day 2, not bad. Dozo, he's still here. He's still here. Funnily enough, there were more Dozos than Totses by 3. Okay, that makes sense. But yeah, I think this is a really good snapshot into what we're going to see. A lot of the support Pokemon. It's really just about building your restricted Pokemon to shine. So now let's take a look at the 8 best teams in the tournament. All right, so we've got our top 8 teams here. So let's just look at them individually and break them down a little bit. So first off, we've got Miraidon with Grimmsnarl. It's basically just Joe's team, I'm pretty sure. Joe used a team very similar at the EUIC and at Toronto. But basically, a lot of how this likes to work is you set up with Grimmsnarl, you get some screens going, you spam moves with Miraidon, and you win the game. No Giraffe. Ditto is really sick in this format, like I mentioned earlier. Volcarona still being used is pretty wild. And then we have Zamazenta as our second restricted. I think Zamoraidon does make a lot of sense. I think being able to protect anything from Astral Barrage is really lit. And I feel like Miraidon does appreciate the support that Zam can provide. Iron Hands makes sense here because it is a strong Pokemon. I think Iron Hands is really good in this format, mostly because Miraidon's good in this format. So being able to use both of them feels pretty good because you have this Fake Out user who can also just like one-shot half the restricteds. So I think he's kind of sick. And you can make him really fucking bulky and he does tons of damage. But yeah, nothing too crazy here. It's just kind of Joe's team. I feel like a lot of these teams are going to be adaptations of the teams that we had prior and just making them kind of work in this new format. But I think Grimmsnarl's value rises up a ton. I'll talk about Grimmsnarl quickly here. He is absolutely nuts. I think setting up screens in the past format was like fucking whatever. It was still pretty decent. It was strong. You saw teams like Grimmsnarl Pagos almost won nationals. Grimmsnarl Miraidon here with Joe's team did extremely well, but I think that a lot of the time Grimmsnarl like enabled one restricted, which is pretty good, super worth. But now in this format, I think he has much more value. His stocks go through the fucking roof because setting up screens is cool, but like now you're setting up screens for 2 fucking huge guys, right? And sometimes 3. This team could have Miraidon and Zam. They could just lead Grimmsnarl, Miraidon, do whatever, and then Ditto can come in and steal one of their restricteds. So you got 3 restricted Pokemon with screens. That's absolutely nuts. I like the take here. I do think this is a really good team to adapt in this format. I don't know how good Volcarona is. That's kind of a weird one. It's good in Zam. It's good in Shadow Rider. It's probably decent. But yeah, I like the Zam here and then Ditto with the screens. It's just kind of sick. I like the Grimmsnarl here. Let's talk about Brute Bonnet here. So Brute Bonnet is pretty sick because I think even in the last format, it was something I was really interested in, paired with Calyrex because I played it at EUIC and it absolutely throttled me. I was using Shadow Horse at the tournament, and I think this Pokemon by itself, I'm not going to say it beats Shadow Horse. I mean, it kind of does, but like, it felt like my team had no matchup into this guy. And I think that this guy is pretty fucking good in this format too. Being able to have Spore, Rage Powder, obviously broken abilities, but Protosynthesis goes dummy hard in this format. I think being able to, obviously it's super easy to supply with your Calyrex, but then it's also super easy to get the boost, and just having a stat boost on Brute Bonnet does give him a little bit of utility over something like Amoonguss. It does more damage. It threatens Sucker Punch, which is huge into Shadow Rider. It also importantly resists Astral Barrage, which I think is very important in this format. We saw the usage stats. You need to resist this move. So having this guy's lit as fuck here, it's just kind of a really aggressive Tailwind Calyrex team, which I think is cool. I like Whimsicott. You got the Chi-Yu to be paired with both Calyrex and Calyrex. Ditto is Ditto. He's really good. He's a very good Pokemon. We're going to see a lot of Ditto, I imagine, eventually. And then this guy's cool, too. I like Helping Hand. I think that's a cool option here. But yeah, I like this take on Calyrex. I think Calyrex is a very strong restricted. It doesn't replace Urshifu. Well, it does replace Urshifu as Calyrex's partner, because you don't run Water Urshifu with Calyrex, Shadow, and Calyrex. But I think Calyrex helps beat the things that Shadow Rider really fucking hates, right? It doesn't really like Zam. It doesn't like Zam, let's be real. It doesn't like Dark types. And Calyrex, he smacks those guys around. So I think this combo is one that is going to be very, very potent. It's very, very aggressive. They actually ran Substitute, no setup on the Calyrex, which I think we'll see a little bit of. I don't think we're going to see a lot of setup on Calyrex anymore. I don't think you need it as much. It's just about dealing fucking damage. And Calyrex enables that, right? I think these two are a fantastic pair. It's the first pair I'm most interested in, and it's the one I want to explore first because I think it's so sick. A little sneak peek into the Battle Room Mine there. I think these guys are good. I like the Brute Bonnet. I like the Chi-Yu. The synergy is all here. Yeah, I think it's a cool team. Next up is the Marco Fierro. Marco, an amazing player. So I think this is a really important team that we're going to take note on here. I think this shit is really good. So the idea here is that you run the same Pagos team, right? But instead of the Screamtail or whatever, you just put on more damage, right? And I think Terapagos is a fantastic Pokemon. Cat's out of the bag. This guy's broken, and I expect to see a lot of Terapagos going forward. The idea of Terapagos in this format is it just seems so good on paper, right? And I think it's good in execution. We're seeing this in top 8 as well. But the idea is simple. It's really easy to force Terras when there's a second restricted guy here, right? And I think he can work with Zacian. He can work with Probably not Miraidon. He could work with Shadow Rider specifically. This is probably the combo. But it's just like, how are you supposed to take an Astral Barrage, right? You got a Terra. Sometimes you need a Terra Dark, you need a Terra Normal, whatever you need to do. But then this guy just comes in here and capitalizes on that and just hits you with a Terra Starstorm. And I think this team is pretty sick because you just set up, you have double Fake Out, you have Follow Me, and then you just set up your Terapagos, and then you just spam spread moves together. And then you go absolutely nuts. Obviously, it does have Earth Power. But yeah, I think it's a really simple, effective team. And I think if you're a Terapagos Andy out there, I mean, this team is for you. Like, the Terapagos teams aren't changing. You get to run your double Fake Out, the Fake Out brothers. You get to run your stupid bear, and you're just going to set up Terapagos like you used to. But this time, you have a Shadow Rider in the back, which is pretty sick. I think this team is going to be innovated on and used the whole format. I think. We'll see. It's the first turn on the format. But I think if you like Terapagos, this is the shit for you. And I think Marco obviously is an amazing player, proving how good this team can be. Next up here is going to be Zacian Shadow Rider. So Zacian was a Pokemon that got huge. He didn't get buffed at all. He actually just got nerfed. But the thing about Zacian is he is very, very good in this format. He specifically always paired up very well against Miraidon. But when you didn't play Miraidon, Zacian felt like a liability and kind of a shit mon. I was not a huge fan of Zacian in the last format. But now Zacian kind of can play your matchups and be a matchup guy for you. He's decent into Koraidon. Not really. He can force the Terra. But at the same time, when you have stuff like Rain Dance, you really can make Koraidon. You can make him answer Koraidon pretty well. Calyrex is imprisons nuts, I'm going to say. I'm going to say that's crazy. But Zacian also, specifically, I think with Ogre, has always been a good combo. I think we'll see some of that. But right here, with Zacian Calyrex, this team is all about dealing damage. It's a Tailwind offense team, and then we just have, like, Fake Out and really good Pokemon. Rain Dance is really sick here because it enables both Zacian and Urshifu, so you're able to go nuts. This guy is like the best follow me guy in the game. I just think he's good. And this is just a really standard hyper offense team. Done in 10 minutes is the name of the team on the Pokepace there, and I think that's very, very true to what it is. Nothing too crazy here. No fighting move on that guy. Seems fair. Rain Dance, it's got the shield. I think Weezing is a very deadly Pokemon in this format. I don't think it's a very meme Pokemon, and you need to have respect for Weezing, specifically because it can enable so many good Pokemon. I think the first thing that comes to mind is Weezing Koraidon is really nasty stuff, right? You can't intimidate Koraidon when the fucking Weezing's there, and then he also usually runs Ability Shield, so you're like, oh, I get Sun, you don't get Weather, you can't intimidate me, you can't slow me down, I'm going nuts. I think Koraidon Weezing was low-key good in the last format, even better now. Weezing still enables Shadow Rider, so I think Weezing is a Pokemon you need to respect, and Mirai did that here perfectly with the Ability Shield. And then, yeah, it's just like got Fake Out plus Urshifu. It's got Urshifu, just a good Pokemon. And then this guy. It's just like all good Pokemon. And then the Zacian, which I think, again, Zacian is a good Pokemon in this format. Now, next up, we've got ourselves a Shadow Rider Zamazenta team. This is another combo that we're going to be talking about a lot because I think they enable each other so well. Sash Shadow Rider seems to be the best Shadow Rider. It's so good. I think you usually just run Astral Barrage, Psychic Move, Filler. We saw Sub. You can't really run Sub on Sash. You could run Wisp, Taunt, Encore, Disable, whatever you want. But it just does so much damage with Terra Ghost. And then it's really hard to hit with this Zamazenta guy because you have Wide Guard. This is very much a rain team. I like the vibes of it. I think Amoonguss is still a good Pokemon. You just have to be careful of stuff like Miraidon. Incense a good Pokemon, as we talked about. Urshifu's a good Pokemon. And Pelipper. Pelipper has always been pretty strong in this format. No surprise to see it here. I think these two are just so deadly together because it's so hard to deal with them. They're both extremely fast. They punish their weaknesses. Like, specifically, if you want a Terra out of this guy, you run Terra Normal or Terra Dark, or you run a Dark or Normal type. This guy just absolutely blasts them. So it's like not even like... It's hard because you have to deal with Shadow Rider, but you also have to deal with its buddy, the dog, right there. So I think the combo makes a lot of sense. It's kind of like Koraidon Shadow Rider, where this guy actually does have Urshifu too, but you could totally run like this over the Urshifu slot because now you have a really, really strong, potent fighting type that is good in this format. And I think Zam is just a really good enabler of any restricted. Wide Guard is always good. It stops this guy. That's a big fucking deal. And then Incineroar is also just like... He's just so good. I don't know why I just hopped to Incineroar like that, but he is just a good Pokemon. And yeah, I think the synergy of all these Pokemon are just really strong. Cool team, just good stuff. Next up, we got Miraidon Lunala. So, by the way, if you guys didn't notice, there's only 2 teams without Shadow Rider in the top 8. And we already talked about the one that was basically the Joe team. And this is the other one here. Oops, sorry, wrong one. So we've got Whimsicott. This is basically just like old school Arubega, right? Like, not Arubega. It was before Arubega was Arubega. I didn't run it. They ran Chi-Yu over the Ogerpon, and then usually a Giraffe, but now we have a Lunala with Trick Room, which is pretty cool. The Electric Seed Lunala is really sick. I fuck with that heavy. That seems really cool. I never thought about it, but like, Miraidon really can enable a lot of the other legendaries. If they want to run Electric Seed, they can totally do it. It's kind of cool. But yeah, this is just like a really offensive, strong team. It has a good Trick Room mode. It's got Tail Room, which is always good. I think Chi-Yu seems sick with your double restricteds. Like, it literally enables both of them. And the Electric Seed is really cool because you're always going to bring both. Like, 90% of the time, both of them are coming. So yeah, I think it's really cool that we have the ability to just run Electric Seed Lunala. It just becomes really hard to deal with. It's got Trick Room, it's got Wide Guard. I think Lunala is a really good Pokemon, but the only issue with Lunala is you don't get to run Shadow Rider, and that sucks. Like, sorry, that sucks. That's brutal. But yeah, like, nothing too crazy here, right? You set up Tailwind. Whimsicott's a fucker with Miraidon. Encore is so broken with Miraidon. This guy makes Miraidon stronger. This guy is stronger because of Miraidon. You have a Trick Room mode. It's just a good team. It's a good team of good Pokemon. And a lot of synergy with Chi-Yu just enabling everything. And Urshifu Water again. Urshifu Water is still prime. He's still so fucking good. So now we've got the finalist teams here. So we've got Sneasler, Dondozo, Tatsugiri. I thought they were cooked. I thought it was fucking over. I thought Dondozo and Tatsugiri were no longer going to be in the game and going to be a problem. I thought with 2 restricteds, there's certainly no way they can hang with the big guys, right? Like, bringing them both just seems troll. It just seems hard and clunky. Like, you just have to bring both your restricteds. But no, Dondozo Tatsugiri are here to stay. The mech will form up and it will be annoying as hell. This team is all about Dondozo. We've got Toxic Spikes on a Electric Seed Sneasler. So you have to deal with this fast Miraidon that's about to blast you. But then Sneasler's setting up the spikes or faking out. It's kind of sick. I'll get credit where it's due. It's kind of sick. And then... or you can go with like a Chi-Yu Shadow Rider mode and just start smacking them, doing big damage. But if that doesn't work, you got Sneasler Miraidon. And if that doesn't work, you got Dondozo Tots. It's just like 2-2-2, but with like weird 2s. Chi-Yu is also pretty cool because it does work really well with Miraidon. And Sneasler can work with Fake Out plus Calyrex is always good. Like, you can just Fake Out and Encore something and to protect. Brutal, right? So I think this team, unfortunately, is kind of cool. You know, they made Dozo work. The Toxic Spikes is really strong. It's a very aggressive piece, and then you can just form up and make the Ice Rider matchup a living hell, right? Like, Ice Rider is going to get smacked by these guys. These guys can deal with everything else. It's not just for Ice Rider. Dondozo Tots is just good. Disappointing. We get a new format, and the Dondozo fandom will always find a way to rear its ugly face into this community. Dondozo's always good. There's nothing you can do. I think it's just so potent because the mind games are so hard. And also Dondozo Miraidon it's kind of sick because you can just Volt Switch and attack with this guy. And if you don't get the Volt Switch wrong, you just get a Volt Switch and a boosted Dondozo attack. So it's kind of sick. It's super powerful. It's super potent. I think Dondozo is decent in this format. I really thought it wasn't going to be, but I do think it bodies Ice Rider. It can match up into the restricteds. It can hang with the big ones. It's good into Zamazenta. There's definitely ways you can make this guy work. So, unfortunately, it makes sense. This team got second, which is pretty nasty. Pretty nasty. Now, let's look at the best team in the format so far. And it's going to be the beautiful Calyrex Shadow Zamazenta. Instant Fake Out cycle tree, right? Like, we've got the Fake Out brothers. We've got Urshifu. We've got the 3 of them. And then we have Calyrex Shadow plus Zamazenta. It's just good. This is just good stuffs, really. They're still opting to run Nasty Plot, which I did think was going to be a little bit down. I did tell you guys at the beginning of the video it was going to be kind of like, but it's still fucking good. It's tearing up this format, and I thought it was going to be a little bit more dead, but I think it is strong. I like the Terra Dark here because it does allow you to match up into the Sash Shadow Riders incredibly well. They can't touch you, realistically. Obviously, they have their buddy, the dog, or Koraidon to do it, but still, if you can navigate the dog, Terra Dark can go absolutely ham. And yeah, you got your Fake Out guys. You got your Follow Me. It's putting me to sleep, dog. It's putting me to sleep. This shit is good, though. It's boring, but it's good. Fake Out Astral. Fake Up Nasty Plot. It's just good. You got your Surging Strikes guy. You got Zam. You just get another fighting type, which I think is awesome with Calyrex. And you get Wide Guard. I don't know. This shit's just good. It makes sense. That did so well. I think it's very similar to how people played Shadow Rider in the past. So to me, it makes sense as like I'm just going to continue using what I was good with, and we'll make it work. And we'll make it shine. So I think that these two are really, really respectable, and you're going to need answers to Zam plus Calyrex. And I don't know if they're the best. Do I want to say the best duo? I'll say it. I'll say they're the best duo. I think they're disgustingly strong together. I think there's multiple ways you can run them as well. I don't think you have to always use the fake out guys. You can get more offensive. You can get defensive like we see here. They're just good. They're just good. You have so many tools. It's just nasty. It's going to be curious to see how this meta develops, but right now we're living in Shadow Rider's world, and there's nothing we can do about it. That's the breakdown. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's going to be an interesting format. These two are already king and queen of the format, and I'm excited to see where it goes. I'm hopeful. Obviously, I think Pokemon players are creative. When there's money on the line, these players will do anything to win said money, and they will come up with the nastiest, crazy shit. So I know that these guys are not the end-all, be-all, but right now, they're looking really, really fucking good. I'll see you guys next time.